Good morning, everyone. So hopefully you guys had a wonderful weekend. I'm gonna turn the brightness down on this light. It's blinding me. There we go. It's a little bit better. I had a pretty uneventful weekend, except it was Reefapalooza. So I don't know how many of you guys attended Reefapalooza this weekend. It was in Orlando, Florida. While I wasn't at Reefapalooza, Ian was. So if you happen to have been attending, you may have seen Ian walking around. Hopefully you guys said hi to him. Very, very knowledgeable guy. So it's really exciting to work for a company that really cares about the fish and are super knowledgeable about everything. Today we are going to talk about, well, obviously I don't want to say a recap of Reefapalooza, but I spent the weekend kind of staring at my phone, watching all of the cool updates from Reefapalooza and seeing all of the really cool, fascinating things like the beautiful artwork and the new products that are out, and even some amazing, stunning coral. So I'll tell you guys a little bit about that, and I will talk to you a little bit about Reef Cell. Again, I'll just show you the Reef Cell. And mostly what I want to talk about is fish being silly. It doesn't necessarily have to be fish, but I guess like aquatic pets being silly. Frank is a prime example of being silly. He's always being goofy in the back of these videos, so it's really not a hard sell. Hey, good morning. Thank you so much for joining. So I'm gonna get a sip of my coffee. This week, I think I probably have showed you guys this coffee mug. This is my mug from Hawaii. One of my friends got it for me. So you can see there's a cute little fish on the inside. There's a couple more, but if I tip it, the coffee's gonna spill out. So, it's a fun coffee mug. So be thinking of silly things that your fish do, or that you've seen fish do, so we can talk about them. I love the photos, like the shame memes with like the dogs or the cats. They've got like the pictures of like the sad looking dog and then like the poster in front of it like I ate mom's shoes, or I got into mom's makeup and like the dog is covered in like lipstick or something silly. So I know fish do that. I've got a couple stories. So Reefapalooza. How many of you guys attended? I attended virtually. Like I said, Ian was there. But here's a few of the awesome things that I saw floating around on Facebook. A bunch of my friends were there. So artwork, a lot of people see when they go to the shows, they see like, especially the reef shows, they see the coral vendors, the fish vendors, like products like New Look Spectrum, but there's a lot of artwork. Like it's a very niche market, and a lot of times people that have really cool artwork will bring it to these shows, especially if it's aquatic. And here for Reefapalooza, Reef Weeds, I think is the name of it, I saw some gorgeous photos of this blue-ringed octopus that just absolutely blew me away when I saw it. I'm like, oh man, that's stunning. Like, I'm kind of glad I wasn't there because I would have had to worry about trying to get back on the plane. But some beautiful artwork. So I definitely encourage you to go out there and check out some of the artwork that was at Reefapalooza this year. Some of those paintings were just amazing. So, and along those lines, if you have really cool aquatic themed artwork at your house, let me know. I'm curious. Like, I love fish. You can't really tell any of my artwork from this view, but I've got like whale drawings, and I had a family member paint me this gorgeous like view of the ocean that's on a wall back behind me, and there's marsh scenes and stuff. So I'm curious to know what kind of artwork you guys have that's related to your fish. Okay, so artwork. One of the things that Ian mentioned he thought was pretty cool, the Apex Trident. It's going to measure calcium and alkalinity and magnesium. Now, as I was mentioning before, I personally, my 75-gallon is a fish-only system. I don't have any coral in here, but I know a bunch of you guys out there that have amazing coral systems. So I'm curious to know, if you have a coral system, do you use something like the Apex Trident to measure and monitor your levels and even to dosing? there might be a future discussion about dosing, so be ready. Let's see, what else? Amazing corals. So there was this huge, I saw a couple people post these photos of these massive, like massive acans. I've never seen anything like it except for in the wild. So the fact that we are able to aquaculture corals that are growing that big is just so impressive. The people that, let's see, I got my little cheat sheet here. So ACI Aquaculture was the booth that was at. So that was pretty impressive, amazing coral. I'm curious to know if you guys saw that photo too. I think I saw Prestige Reef. He's got a YouTube channel. It might be in his video, but I saw it on one of his social media pages. And I believe also Aficionado channel had a photo of it too. So definitely go check that out. It's definitely worth looking at. And let's see. The last thing that I thought was pretty cool of the stuff that I saw online, ChemiPure. I'm a fan of ChemiPure. I've been using it for years. I use it in my tanks at home. I used to use it when I was servicing, doing aquarium maintenance. They have a new carbon that's out that has 30% more surface area, but it's almost 100% dust free. So that means you don't have to rinse it. How exciting is that? Like, I know that's a big hassle. When I put new carbon in my tank, I'm just like, oh, and then it gets all your, like, stains your hands black. Not this new stuff. The videos of it, super, super cool. It's, if you go on Facebook, Aficionado channel, it was like the first day recap. That's where I saw that. It's so cool. I'm like, oh man, I might have to order some of that. So almost 100% dust proof carbon is pretty exciting. Thank you for joining, Alice. How's it going this week? I feel like it's been a couple weeks since you've been on here. Today we're going to talk about silly things that our fish do. So yeah, I guess I'm finished talking about my stuff for Reefapalooza in Orlando, but if you saw anything cool online that I didn't see, tell me about it. I want to know all these cool things that I missed the show. So we're going to talk about silly things that our fish do. Frank here is an excellent example of fish being silly. This fish, I'm telling you, he's a ham. He knows exactly where the camera is. He, like, I'm sure you guys have seen these, he's back and forth the whole time. Like, he knows. He's an attention hog. But he'll spit water, so that's kind of silly and goofy. I had a couple people on Instagram tell me they've got blue tangs that just like up and down and up and down and up and down. I used to have a little puffer fish that would do that. He would just be like straight, like nose to the glass, back and forth. Let's see. Fish eating rocks. Do you see this? Do you see this? Frank, stop. So it's kind of sad. So there was a fish at work the other day. I work at a public aquarium as a biologist, and the fish had passed away. So we were doing a dissection necropsy to see what the cause of death was. And we opened it up. The fish had a stomach full of rocks. So the bottom of the tank has, not rocks, but not pebbles. It's a bit larger than, or maybe it's like this, a little bit larger than aquarium gravel, like your regular stuff. But it had like a whole gut full of rocks. And that's not the first instance I've seen of fish eating rocks. Actually, there is a fish vet in California, and I think it's a catfish that she had photos of. But the catfish, his name was Rocky, had like a whole gut full of rocks, like silly, silly things. So there's that. Fish spitting water. I'm trying to think what else. One of the guys on Instagram mentioned he's got a pet shark, and sometimes the shark bites his hand. I assume that it wasn't intentional. The shark wasn't trying to do that. Probably during feeding, Frank's bitten my fingers multiple times when I've got food in there. Or if I have my nails painted, occasionally he'll go out, like when I'm cleaning, he'll go after my nails. I'm like, what's that? It's pretty and colorful. I need to eat it. Yep, that's right, Frank. So, I'm curious to know what silly things that your fish do that, you weren't expecting, or like Frank here, he makes a mess all over the outside of his tank every single day, doing what you just saw him do a minute ago, that like face out of the water, just being ridiculous. So, that's all I've got for this week. Hopefully I will see you guys next week, and hopefully you have an amazing week. Next week we might talk about dosing, what you dose your tank, what you put in your tank to dose it. If you use a doser, I think that's probably what we'll talk about next week. So if that interests you, feel free to tell your friends and tune in. It will be at the same time, 8 a.m. Pacific time here on YouTube. Instagram will start the conversation at 7:30 Pacific time for all of you who are on the East Coast. That is 10:30 and 11 a.m. And I apologize, I don't know. I know we got a couple of viewers from over in England. I apologize. I'll work on figuring out what time zone you're in. I want to say it's like 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. Have a wonderful week, and I will see you next time.